What do you guys think about this music? I just wanted to try something new, right? Which is why I was late, by the way. Just so everybody knows, yes, we got started a little bit late today because I was geeking out a little bit and trying a few new things, and hopefully you heard some music. Gosh, half the time I feel like I don't know if things are working. So what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday to everyone. Super excited to be here with y'all today. Super excited because it's been a couple weeks. I love a good live Q&A. And today I'm going to answer whatever questions you have about live streaming, gear, meaning microphones, cameras, lights, stuff. I'm going to do the best I can to help you out. Also, just live streaming in general, techniques, strategies, marketing, whatever you want to talk about. It's really up to you today. So I've got a couple questions coming in for sure already, which I love. Very excited about that. And I'm super pumped. So Calvin, yes, he said, it's funky music. Yeah, I was trying something new. I'll tell you what I was doing. So I was listening to, that music came from my friend Harris Heller over at StreamBeats. Okay, so he's got copyright-free music. You can check that out. If you just Google StreamBeats by Harris Heller, he's changed his web addresses and stuff like that. But he is awesome. So I thought I'd give it a try. We obviously have music inside the StreamYard studio ready for you to use. However, there's about 8 tracks in there and they may suit your needs. They may be your style, maybe they're not. So those are all in there. In fact, you can actually, if you're on the professional plan, you can upload your own tracks as well. But what I did is I actually got a little fancy today, and I was using my Stream Deck Plus. And so I was using the Wavelink software, pushing that music through. That's faded in, faded out, all that fancy stuff. So if you got questions about that, great. But what's up, everybody? I wanted to say hi to everybody. We got all kinds of people jumping in now. Super excited. We will jump into some live Q&A here pretty soon. But I just kind of wanted to change it up. Nikki, what's up, Nikki? Nikki is getting ready for work. You know, it's kind of cool. I was watching some YouTube videos when I was getting ready this morning as well. I had my phone propped up right there in my bathroom while I was doing my hair. You know, because I don't wake up looking like this. Takes a little effort. So, but I love hanging out with people, creators, and watching live videos while I'm getting ready as well. So, all right, let's see here. If you've got questions for me, again, I'm going to answer questions as long as I'm qualified and able to answer your questions. I will answer them. All I need you to do to help me out is put a Q in front of your comment. That will help me find that question. I will use the starred comments feature inside StreamYard Studio to pin it, make sure I get down to you. So typical Tyreek is here hanging out with us. What's up, my friend? Good to see you live in the comments. Creator Classroom says, Funky Town with Mel. Yeah, I mean, it's not Funky Town. It wasn't that song, but, you know, it had a little funk going with it. I might try a few different beats here as we're getting going. So we'll try it. Let's see. We are going to have some fun. I'm going to start pinning some comments in here because I want to make sure I get to your questions. La, 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 la. I see a couple coming in. Michael Daniels is here. It's great to see you, my friend. I was actually just like thinking about you just the other day, Michael. So definitely would love to catch up with you. Would love to chat with you for sure. So, all right, here we go. Good question. I see some questions coming in. Do me a favor, put those cues in front of the questions. Southwest Jeff CP and I says stream beats ? That is exactly what we were just listening to. So if you missed the sort of countdown, I was playing some copyright free music brought to us by Senpei Gaming / Harris Heller / Stream Beats. All you got to do is Google Stream Beats by Harris Heller. You will find his website. You can listen to his stuff on Spotify, Amazon Music, all kinds of stuff. So really good guy out there. I've learned so much from watching Harris Heller's videos. Love what he does for the creator community. Was able to actually meet with him last year. I met him finally in person last year. And one of the things I love about meeting creators in person is when they are legitimately just like they are on their channel. I have met many people, very famous people, famous YouTube famous, if you will, that are not at all like they are in their channel. And it's a little bit deflating when you meet somebody, you're like, wow, you are not like this in your videos. But I will tell you, that guy, man, exactly the same. I hope that any of you that have met me in person feel the same way, because I take pride in that. So, all right, I'm going to pin some questions. We're going to get going here. By the way, do you guys, okay. The background, do you see that? Got a little bit of a soft wave going on. I don't know if you guys had a chance to tune into the StreamYard Ask StreamYard show / town hall this past Sunday. I think it was this past Sunday, where Dan explained that we now have the opportunity to upload videos to the background section of StreamYard. So I'm actually going to show that to you in just a moment, real quick, because it's freaking awesome. Okay, because before you could get away with having a video background if you used a GIF file, or GIF for those of you that like to get all competitive with me. I'm going to say GIF, but anyway, the GIF file, but it could only maximize, it could not be larger than 3 megabytes, which was really difficult to get a quality motion GIF background going. So it really wasn't used a lot by a lot of people, to be totally honest with you. But now you can upload a higher quality video and it will loop as a background video. So again, there's some strategies there. There's some techniques there. If you're going to create a custom video background, you're going to want to make sure that you have a good loop. If you watch this one, there's no like glitching. So at the end of the video, if the end of the video doesn't almost exactly match the beginning of your video, there'll be a little stutter, right? It'll be a little glitchy thing that happens. And that can be very difficult to do. So what the awesome team at StreamYard has done for you is they have automatically provided you with a few nice, subtle video backgrounds that you can just use if you want. And this being one of them, I thought, well, heck, I really like that. It feels pretty on brand. I was digging it. So that's what we've got going on with that. So before I jump into more your questions today, let me introduce myself, because some of you might be new, right? I mean, some of you might be new. I am Melanie Dyann Howe. I am a live streaming mentor here in the StreamYard creator community, and I absolutely love live video. I'm going to sneeze, I feel like. So, yeah. I'm back. I literally went under my desk to sneeze and came back. So there we go. Anyway, I love live video. I love helping people go live. One of the things I love about live is how raw and spontaneous it is. You can sneeze live on camera and your audience is going to be just fine with it. So it's all good. It's all good. Seriously, it's all good. So very excited to be here with y'all today. Now, as I promised, let me show you real quick how this background video works. It is a really cool, hold on, background videos. Let me make that banner really fast. I want to play this quick tutorial for you so you see what I was describing, and I will talk through it as I'm showing this to you. So I did this quick screen recording so you could see how to get to these video backgrounds because they're super awesome, and we'll talk about it in just a moment. But here's how you get to those. So in your studio, you are going to go over to the brand, scroll all the way down to backgrounds, and when you click add background, now you have to be on a basic or pro plan for this. Videos is now an option. So there you see it. You select that video background and it is now going to be part of your background selection. So again, you do have to be on a basic or pro plan to be able to customize your backgrounds. So that is definitely one of those things. So if you're on the free plan, you can't do custom things like custom overlays and, a few of those, you can't have a logo, custom logo up in the corner, other limitations, of course, but the backgrounds is also one of those limitations to the free plan. So free plan is great. It's awesome. You can still have guests. You can still display comments. You can still create banners and tickers and all the awesome things, but you can't have custom branding in your stream. So if you're looking to upgrade and enhance those live videos, which I highly recommend because it is going to help you stand out from your, competition. It's just going to help create a more engaging experience for your viewers. You can actually add those custom branded graphics, much like you see me using here in the studio, like the countdown timer, like this right here. Actually, that's a thank you for watching. Here's the countdown timer, custom overlays and whatnot, like how I started the stream with this one showing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely something for you to consider for sure to upgrade to a basic or pro plan. So, all right, let me get to some questions because they're coming in. They're coming in hot. I like it. Okay, let me get these pinned. I'm going to get some of these pinned really fast so that I can go starred. So I can go to the starred comments for sure. Let's keep, put a Q in front of those questions for me, so that I can see it easier. Okay. Got a couple here that I already know I may not be able to answer. Might have to call on some friends in the audience to help us out. So, okay, let me see. I say GIF because GIF is a peanut butter. I know, but how do you pronounce the image file JPG? Do you say JPG? Do you say JPEG? Because it's not spelled JPEG. It's just spelled JPEG. But we don't say JPEG, we say JPEG. So I say GIF because also the creator of the GIF said that's how he wanted it pronounced. But that's what I always say, right? So sorry, got to do it. Okay, let's see here real fast. La, 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 la. Okay, I see you guys are coming in at me on the Friday here. I am loving it. Okay. Well, Calvin, I will say, you said, I don't think I talked at all last time. I love that you're talking this time. I love some good comments coming in. So I feel like it's very excited. Let's see. I'm just grabbing questions real fast. Oh boy, lots of questions in here. I'm going to have to go fast. We're going to do rapid fire today, I think. What do you say? Oh, that's funny. Shelby over on LinkedIn says, how do you say niche? That's the real question. I say niche. I got to say that's what I say because that's just the way I say it. But some people say niche. I say niche. I don't know why, but I just do. I got that spammer. Thank you, Creator Classroom. But I did. Right inside the StreamYard studio, I was able to, somebody was spamming us over on YouTube. I saw those comments. Oh, they're coming back. Here they come. They're coming. They're coming in hot today. So got 2 of them so far. All I have to do is click ban user and delete comments, and it does that right there. So looks like I'm going to have to hang in tight. If I have any of my StreamYard family moderators hanging out with me today, do me a favor, show me in the comments that you're here so that I know that you're going to help me out with those for sure. So, okay. I think it's time to get into some questions. What do you say? Oh my Lord, we got a spammer today. I might have to call in some reinforcements. I'm going to have to call in reinforcements. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Just sit tight. Hold on. While I'm doing this, listen to some peaceful music. Here you go. All right. Okay. Let me get these people. Oh my goodness. They're coming in hot today, you guys. They're coming in hot. All right. I think I got a couple here. Once you get like one of these big old attacks, it just sometimes keeps going. And I hate it for you all. We're going to get through it. Okay. So Okay, here we go. Let's get to some questions. I'm going to get to questions here. Let me get in my Slack, actually. Hold on. I'm just getting my friends over at StreamYard. I'm going to get some reinforcements here. Give me a moment. This is why you should always have moderators on your channel. Definitely one of those things that, okay, cool. Joanne is coming in to save the day. Can't wait. She's coming in to save the day. Okay, yes. These are funny, these names. Okay, questions. We got people coming in. Here we go. Are you guys ready? Oh, yeah, you can. So Liz, right inside the StreamYard studio, it's actually a fantastic feature. If you see these comments coming in, or if somebody's being inappropriate, you can put them in timeout, or which I think puts them in timeout for 5 minutes, means they can't comment. That's kind of a subtle way to let somebody know, like, hey, back off. And then you can actually go ahead and just ban them and delete them, which it should delete all those comments on your YouTube, and it'll ban them from coming back into it basically blocks them over there. So it's definitely a great thing. So, okay, let's jump into some questions. We're going to just let those get taken care of because I know the team is coming to help me out. So, okay, questions. I saw questions coming in. If you've got questions for me today, feel free to put them in the comments. Just put a Q in front of it, and we're going to make it happen. So, all right, here we go. Let's see. So Guy says, is there a way that you can make a producer mode so that someone can speak to the host and guest without the audience hearing? Also, how about a way that you can remove yourself video from the studio but still have your voice heard? Okay, these are two questions. So I will answer both of these questions very quickly. So there is not a quote unquote producer mode built into the StreamYard studio. However, there is a StreamYard professional, or a StreamYard Pro plan. Wait, hold on. It's not called Pro. Oh my God. StreamYard Business. I'm so sorry. StreamYard Business plan that actually has a green room feature inside of it. Now, you can type chat inside that green room with all the different people inside of your backstage, but you cannot voice chat with them. Now, one of the suggestions I always like to make to people is don't be afraid to use, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but this is what a lot of professionals do, is they will either use an application that you can pay for or buy on your phone, or they literally just make a phone call, and they just have one earbud in, and they literally use that to sort of talk. Now, of course, if you're going to be doing this as a producer, you can't be on screen. You can't be, you're no mic'd up or anything for the stream, but you can definitely be talking to the host, whoever is speaking. So for example, if I had Joanne in my ear, she'd be like, I got you, girl. I'm going to ban all these people, right? Or something like that. So I don't know. I mean, she probably would say that, actually. It's kind of funny because Joanne and I are buds like that. But anyway, so that's one way. So that's a quick answer to that question. Now, with your second question, it says, how about a way that you can remove yourself from video from the studio, but still have your voice heard? Yes, you are going to want to go to, it's a avatars thing. Let me actually create a second screen here. I will show you very quickly because it's a little tricky to find sometimes. So let me just do this really quick. I'm going to open up another window of StreamYard, and I'm going to go into a totally different section so that we don't get totally confused. And what you're going to want to do is, once you create a stream, okay, oops, I got to share my screen, don't I? Screen 2. Here we go. All right, let me do a quick deal here so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so right here is the StreamYard studio. So go here, you enter the studio, and once you enter the studio, hopefully it doesn't get wonky on me because I'm already using my camera. It's not. You go to settings, and you're going to open up those settings. And when you go to audio, right here, I'm sorry. I think it's actually general. Yes, I'm sorry. So general, you go up here to the general tab, and you see right here where it says audio avatars. If you have that checked, then you are actually going to still see an avatar. So for example, let me turn my camera off and you'll see what I'm talking about. So stop cam, look at me now over here. So you see how I am like pulsating? That's an avatar. So I've got a picture uploaded to my account. So that's what that is. Now, if you don't want an audio avatar, but you want to still be heard, but you want to be completely off screen, then let's go back to our screen share. And you want to take audio avatars off. So uncheck that. Now let's go back to me and I'll show you that once I turn that camera off, stop camera. Yeah, it didn't work because I'm in a completely different studio, but here's what it would do. It would literally remove me from the screen and you would still hear me. So Guy, that's how you would do that. That's how you want to make sure you disable audio avatars if that is in fact what you want. So let me take that out and get out of there. So that's how you do that. Hopefully that was a quick answer to your question. Now let me keep moving forward because we got lots of questions. And I see that my girl Joanne is backstage with me. So she's here. Joanne is to the rescue, everyone. She's here to help us out. Keep these spammers away because they're whatever. I don't know what's going on, but they came in crazy. So, all right, let me get back to our questions here. So Church of One Body of Christ says, does StreamYard have a non-profit plan? To be totally honest with you, I don't think they do, but they might. It might be something where if you reach out to StreamYard support, they can actually answer that question for you. It's highly possible that there is one. I'm sure if there is one, then you would have to provide some information, do an application process in order to get that. But to be honest with you, I don't know the answer to that question, but it's definitely worth reaching out to StreamYard support to find out. So you can email, go to the streamyard.com/contact, and then you'll be able to contact StreamYard to ask that question. Okay, so Marianne says, when I share a video that has music, my countdown timer, okay, awesome, it cuts in and out, then tries to catch up. It's a small file, so not sure what's happening. So, okay, so Marianne, there's a couple things that could be happening here. So if you're saying the file size itself is fairly small in size, so it's not maybe too beefy, if you will, it could very much be your internet connection. Unfortunately, if we have a little bit of lag in our internet connection or an unstable signal, especially if you're using Wi-Fi, it might be that the internet connection isn't stable. And so while here's one thing, StreamYard is fantastic because it is a browser-based tool. What does that mean for you? What it means is it's very light on your computer. So you don't have to have some crazy beefy computer in order to use StreamYard. Now, if you're going to have a bunch of bells and whistles attached to your computer, for example, I mentioned earlier I was using my Stream Deck Plus. You know, I've got an extra microphone. I've got a camera switcher. I've got lots of stuff plugged into my computer. That all of that is going to throttle your memory on your computer, but it doesn't prevent me from using a browser. However, it can affect just the way your processor is working. So Marianne, if you have a regular computer and you don't have a bunch of stuff going on, it's highly likely that it is your internet connection. Now, the question I have for you, and I would reach out to StreamYard support, they can actually get on a live chat with you and troubleshoot with you. One of the things you might want to do is it happening in your view in the studio, or is it happening with what your viewers see? And is it there on the replay? That's a question I would ask, because every once in a while, I'll be in the studio and I'll have like something that'll just do a weird glitchy thing or something funky, but it actually is not happening on the other side. My viewers don't even see that. So, and actually that hasn't happened for a really long time. So whatever that was, maybe they fixed it. But that would be something that I would check and explore for sure. So, but if you're using a small file and you don't have anything crazy going on, it's more than likely your internet connection. So, but yeah, if you're just now tuning in, we are doing a live Q&A today. So I'm going to get to as many questions as I can today. I can hang out for a while, maybe even a little longer than normal to answer your questions because wow, there's a lot of them in here already. So I'm going to go back into the comments here in a second and grab more questions that those of you are posting. We had a little bit of a spammer attack going on. We had all kinds of crazy bot messages hitting our comments. So we got a little off there for a minute. So, all right, let me keep talking and keep getting to these questions. So, all right. So Aisha says, Gap Tooth Diva. I love that. I love it. Aisha, the Gap Tooth Diva. I love that YouTube channel name. Okay. Do you really need two screens in order to share screen and present? Okay. Short answer. Do you really need? No. The answer is you technically do not. Is it recommended? Yes. And here's why. So Aisha, it can absolutely be done with just one monitor. However, it is a little bit trickier and I absolutely recommend you practice using the feature. So when you screen share, you're going to actually need to have whatever you're going to share. So it's assuming it's maybe a PowerPoint or maybe even another web browser that you're doing a tutorial on. You're going to have that open. You're going to have StreamYard open in a completely separate window. I suggest two separate windows. And then when you go to screen share, you're going to share your actual window application versus the screen. And that is how you do this. Now, it can be done. It absolutely can be done. But I personally find it very tricky, and I am honestly not very good at it. It just throws me off. It's just wonky for me, and I don't prefer it. In fact, I don't do it. So, but I've seen a lot of people do it. I've seen them master it like geniuses. My friend Tiffany Lee Bymaster, Coach Glitter, she literally does it, all of it on one laptop, one screen, and she does it flawlessly. So it can be done just with a little bit of practice, which you can practice going live just by either creating a live stream, going live to your an unpublished live broadcast in YouTube, or just go to the record only and you can play with all the different features and tools. Or you can also create a private Facebook group with just you in it and you can stream into that for sure. So definitely practice it. Now, 2 screens makes it 10,000 times easier because I can keep my StreamYard studio open right here on my main monitor. And then on my second monitor, which, so that you guys can see, I do have 2 monitors in my setup. So here, my main monitor, secondary monitor is over here. So anytime I do a screen share, I am absolutely I'm screen sharing this. So I go here, I go to share screen, and I literally say share screen 2, entire screen. And then I can show you whatever I'm doing over here. And I don't have to worry about, I can see comments, I can see spammers for crying out loud, and I can see all that stuff. So it's highly recommended, but I know that not everybody can afford or wants to afford or even has the room for a second monitor or screen. But even if you just use a really little one, just a small one right there as a companion monitor, I highly recommend it for sure, especially if you're going to do a lot of these types of streams. It's just trust me. Just trust me. Is it required? No. Recommended? Highly. Yes. So, okay, let's keep moving. We get to a few more questions, then I'm going to check in on the live comments because I'm trying to get through these kind of rapid fire. And I tend to be long-winded because I'm very passionate about this stuff. I'm passionate about it. I can't help myself. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oops, that's a duplicate question. Let me see. Okay, Nikki Lopez says, I want to make my videos better. I only have 40 subscribers. Excuse me, Nikki, first of all, you have 40 subscribers. Can you fit 40 people in your kitchen and tell them the same things you're telling them? Maybe you can. Maybe you have a really big kitchen, right? But literally think about it. That's 40 people that you have that are hanging out and subscribing to you, ready for your content, right? That's 39 more people than most people have. In fact, that's 40 people more than most people have as subscribers. So first of all, applause and kudos to you because, hold on. I'm trying to get back to using my fancy stuff. So it's awesome. It's totally awesome, Nikki. So not only 40 subscribers, you have 40 amazing subscribers. So congrats. Now, make your videos better. Keep making videos. That's the best thing I can tell you. Keep making videos, keep watching videos, keep watching tutorials here on the YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So you're watching from Facebook, Nikki. Make sure you come hang out over on our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, because there's so many great tutorials about techniques and up-leveling. And there's a lot of great examples about how you can use StreamYard to create these amazing videos. So whether you're streaming, live streaming, or just recording videos and uploading them, StreamYard is a fantastic tool. There's so many tutorials for you on how to incorporate video, how to edit your videos, how to, repurpose your content. So lots of great stuff. So my tips for you, Nikki, are keep creating videos and keep learning how to create videos, and you will absolutely up-level those videos. I have no doubt. Just keep going, sister. Just keep going. All right. Vincent says, how do I add music from iTunes to live stream? Okay. There's a couple ways to do this. Now, iTunes is different. So anytime you're using iTunes or, a place where you have music, just because you're a subscriber to iTunes does not mean you can use that music for your content. So you absolutely need to either have the rights to use the music or you need to use copy-free music like I was earlier when I said I was using Harris Heller's Stream Beats tracks. So you need to be very careful about this. This is the first thing I'll say, Vincent. So make sure that you are up to speed on what rights you have to whatever music you have in your iTunes library. Now, iTunes, in order to play it from iTunes, you would need to have a way to push that audio into your stream. It could absolutely be done. But what I'm using personally to be able to do that is I'm using the WaveLink application, which is basically a virtual audio mixer. And because I'm using the Elgato WaveLink microphone, I automatically get that software for free. I'm using the Stream Deck, Elgato Stream Deck Plus to control that. So I'll show you again right here. This is the Stream Deck. See if I can show it to you without detaching it. This is the Stream Deck Plus. So it's got knobs on the bottom. And so when I was playing that music, I can actually start the track and I can turn it up and turn it down. I can also control my microphone. I can even control my lights. So really cool, awesome accessory. These aren't necessarily cheap accessories, but they're actually very useful. So I really love them. In fact, as I'm thinking about it, we should probably do a really cool video about some of these gear choices to help you guys learn how to take some of the things you're doing to the next level. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Vincent, if you don't want to worry about usage rights and all those things, make sure that you check out what tracks are available to you inside of the StreamYard studio. There are 8 tracks automatically available to you. You can also, as I said, if you're on the professional plan, you can upload your own tracks to the studio, which makes you literally just click it right there. You click it, you turn it on, you turn it off, and you're playing music. It's great. It's fantastic. But again, make sure that you're using the right stuff. Okay, really quick. Magali Ortiz says, what microphone are you using? Is it necessary? Again, I'm using the Elgato Wave 3 microphone. I love this microphone. It is a USB microphone. You literally plug it into your computer and it's ready to use. That's why I love it so much. Plug and play, and it sounds amazing. So they also, there's other USB microphones out there, of course, tons of them. The question is it necessary? So that's really up to you. I personally find that leveling up your audio from just using maybe the built-in microphone on your laptop, or something like that, it is absolutely going to increase the quality of your streams. Audio is arguably more important than your video. So I personally think that audio is a fantastic way to upgrade your videos. Even if you're just, like I said, using a basic built-in, webcam and a built-in microphone, I would absolutely upgrade your microphone before you upgrade your camera. That is my opinion. I think lots of professionals out there share that opinion with me. Not everybody, of course, agrees, because that's why it's an opinion and not a fact. Definition of opinion, of course. But my point is I personally think it is necessary. However, there are literally $50 microphones out there. They're going to sound great. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. So I think that may be partly why you're asking the question. So cost and maybe even complexity. So, okay. Great question. Loved it. Let me do a quick favor. So I've got other questions from Tyler's Variety, MAPS, and others that I've got starred. But I'm going to go back to my live feed and check out my live comments, because I haven't looked at these for a while because I wanted to get into my questions, and they're 2 separate windows inside of the studio. So let me see what we've got. Oh, Joanne, they're keeping you busy, aren't they? I see that the spam comments still coming in. So, okay, let me get up to find some actual questions and see what I can do here. This is craziness. Okay. I found, can you ban spammers on LinkedIn from StreamYard? You cannot. So one of the things about LinkedIn is that their API, which API is really just, think of it as, hey, we're willing to be friendly with you and we're willing to trade secrets and trade information. They don't have their API completely unlocked or open completely. We aren't able to control those comments. So the StreamYard platform cannot control the comments on LinkedIn. So unfortunately, if you are multi-streaming, which this is a thing, so everybody, if you're multitasking and you're thinking about multi-streaming, you're one of those people, listen up real quick. This is one of the reasons why you need to be very careful if you do want to multi-stream, because multi-streaming allows you to stream to more than one platform at the same time. With tools like StreamYard, it's super easy, but there are things to consider. And one of those things to consider is making sure that you have proper presence on each of those platforms. So for example, you can't block or delete or do anything to the LinkedIn comments from the inside of the StreamYard studio. So if you feel that there's an issue, I think it's probably less of a concern over on LinkedIn, just saying, maybe you didn't hear that from me. But my point is it's probably a lot less likely to have that issue over on LinkedIn than it is over on YouTube. But the point is that you would have to open up LinkedIn in order to handle and deal with those issues if you were having them. So that's to answer that question real quick. Lots of questions or thoughts about why or if you can do that stuff inside of StreamYard. So, okay, let me, okay. Yeah. Creator Classroom said, Joanna's going to be busy today. Yeah, she is. My goodness. Okay, here's a good question. Again, put those questions, put a Q in front of those questions for me so I can, it makes it so much easier to find these comments for you. So, I love the timeout idea, Shelby said. Yeah, sometimes you got to put people in timeout. It's one of those things. Okay, let me keep going. There we go. I see a question about my camera from Charles. What's up, Charles? I didn't see you until just now. I'm scrolling through the comments and there you are. So it's good to see you here, my friend. All right, getting these questions. I am starring them so that I can then go and find them over where I need to get to answering them. I'm scrolling through lots of junk in here to get to where I need to get to. So guys, thanks so much for being patient with me as I go through this. Okay, great question from Church of One Body of Christ. Another great question from you. I'm going to keep getting these questions and I'm going to get back into it. I'm looking for those cues in front of the comments, like I said. If you're just not joining us, we are doing a live Q&A today. I'm answering your live streaming questions. We're talking about gear and other things. That's a good question. Hopefully I'll be able to answer it. Ooh, this is cool. So StreamYard, we have a guest app for Apple devices right now. You can go to the App Store and type in StreamYard Guest to find the mobile app. Very cool. I have not played around with that yet. So that is now live. That sounds awesome. All right. Okay. Great questions coming in. All right. Here we go. Okay. Thank you, Joanne, for being here with me in the comments, helping me out today backstage. It's great to see you back there. So, okay, here we go. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back to my questions because I got more to get to. Yes. All right. So, Mortgage David says, what do you suggest to automate edits from StreamYard? Okay, I think what you're referring to is the video editing tools inside of the video editor. So those of you that don't know, when you create a live video or even a record only video, it's going to save into the video library inside of StreamYard. And when you do that, you're going to be able to then go in and do some trimming and some other edits to actually then repurpose that video and publish it on various platforms. In fact, that is continuing to evolve. So that tool, make sure that you're checking on that because it is constantly evolving and they're enhancing those tools even further and further. In fact, they just made a new announcement that you can publish longer videos to LinkedIn now. So that ability is now there. So as far as automating, I don't know if there's really a lot of ways that I can help you automate it other than to create a workflow. So creating a workflow means, hey, let me put it this way. When you're going to edit a live stream video and then you're going to repurpose that video, it is always wise to know that you're doing that before you go live because you are going to simplify your editing process by doing your live stream very intentionally so that it's easier to edit. For example, a lot of people will start out, they'll do a bunch of bantering and checking in on people and, hanging out and saying hi to people in the live stream. And then they'll kind of do this little thing where they'll say, okay, y'all ready to get started? Let's get started. And they'll stop, they'll pause for a second, and then they will literally kick off the video, but they'll do it at basically that's the starting point of what they want their repurposed video to be. So they're going to completely cut out all that intro because people watching a replay or watching a short tutorial on YouTube are not looking for that conversation piece necessarily. They're looking for getting to the point, teach me how to do the thing, right? So if I'm like hanging out with y'all and we're doing this thing and then I say, okay, I'm going to teach you about the new video backgrounds today. Are you guys ready to hear about it? And then I'm going to say, great. And then I'm going to go, all right, so today I'm going to teach you about the brand new feature that StreamYard just released, and that is video backgrounds. So let me show you how this works, and then we'll get into some strategies about it. And then I'm going to do a tutorial, and then I might say, isn't that so amazing? How are you planning to use these video backgrounds for your videos? I might pause, and I might say, all y'all, let me know in the comments. Well, guess what? that little segment I just did in my live stream can completely be cut out very easily and just repurposed into an actual video. And again, the reason I'm saying go into your live streams with intention that I'm going to repurpose it, you're literally going to do that so that when you go edit it, you're literally just cutting out the other stuff and that's your little clip. In fact, you could do multiple of these throughout your live stream. And so again, it's about being intentional and approaching your live video, knowing that you're going to repurpose it and what parts you're going to repurpose. And then creating a workflow, meaning a kind of like a standardized process about how you're going to go pull these clips out. The other thing too, to don't ever be afraid of is don't be afraid to hire a freelancer. There are so many amazing freelancers out there that are really great at repurposing videos for social content. So that's about as the best way you can automate it right there is like, hey, you go do that, send me the bill and I'll write you a check. That's about as automated as it gets, in my opinion. So just have somebody else do it. But I don't know, it's an option for sure, right? So hopefully that was helpful. Okay, let's see. Okay, MAPS, Media Entertainment News, says, does Wavelink, so the Wavelink, by the way, it's Wavelink software, can that be used with Stream Deck while being off screen? Can you explain how it works? Okay, let me try to explain how it works. This is what I call a level up strategy or a level up technique. So those of you that are just getting started or thinking about getting started live streaming, do not let this scare you off. You do not need to incorporate sound and audio and things like that. I highly recommend you get started with the basics. And then as you continue to evolve, you can level up your techniques in your stream. So again, don't let this freak you out. Let it inspire you maybe. But anyways, those of you ready to level up, buckle up. Here we go. Okay. So let me just pull up Wavelink on my second screen and I'm going to share this with you. I feel like I want to use a different custom layout because I can, but I don't have a lot of, hold on one second. Yeah, I do. Watch this. I'm going to go up here in the top. Why not? How about that? And then I'm going to move this up higher and make it bigger. By the way, I'm using the custom, ta-da! I'm using the custom layouts feature, which is probably my most exciting, newer feature that I've seen StreamYard put out there. So custom layouts is super fun. All right, so this is the Wavelink application. Again, it's a virtual audio mixer. So right here is my microphone. That's what this input is. I have a browser input, which isn't doing anything because I don't have a browser doing anything right now. Then I have a music. Now you have to route, again, those of you getting started, do not just maybe go make a sandwich really fast and then come back. Don't let this freak you out. This is complicated stuff. You're going to have to use, this is Windows, right? But this will work on a Mac as well. You basically have to tell your computer that you now want to, any browser-based audio, you want to push into the Wavelink application. And then the Wavelink application is going to push that out to whatever you're using it for. So again, kind of tricky, a little quirky. Lots of YouTube videos out there on how to do this that you should watch after this stream, but not during. And if I play music, right? So, oops. So here's my dial, right? So I'm going to turn that up. And if I'm not on screen, all I have to do, so I'm using the Wavelink stream. So anything coming out of this application is what you all are going to hear. Now, if I mute just my microphone, which has a mute button right on top, or I can also mute my mic right there, clicking that button, you won't hear my audio, but you would still be able to hear any music I'm playing if I were playing it, which I will in a moment. I'll demo it. The trick here, if you're trying to be off screen and still play music for whatever reason, then you're going to need to use the feature I talked about earlier, which is turning off audio avatars. You would need to turn off audio avatars and then you just turn your camera off. Your mic is still going, meaning anything coming out of the stream, the Wavelink stream, you just want to mute your microphone if you don't want to be talking. And then you can be playing music. So that is how you would do it. So you would mute yourself. You would turn on audio avatars off so that you're not on screen, but your mic is still outputting. Your mic in this case is the Wavelink stream software. So if you play music, like I said earlier, let's play the soft one. I'm going to turn it down. I'm going to mute myself. Well, before I mute myself, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to turn my camera off and mute myself, right? So I'm going to turn my camera off and I'm going to mute myself. And now I'm back. So that is literally how you would do that. So very, very techie tutorial that we just did in this live Q&A. Hopefully I didn't lose all y'all. Hopefully some of you are inspired, not freaked out by that feature. But that, again, that's not a feature. That is using multiple applications together. So StreamYard is allowing me to do everything that displaying it to you, but I'm using additional hardware and software to enhance that experience for you. So that's very much a level up stream method. So don't, again, if you're just getting started, don't freak out. Don't let that go too crazy. Definitely want you to make sure that it just inspires you, not freaks you out. So there you go. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful for everyone. Creator Classroom loves those custom layouts as well. Fantastic. I love it. Okay. All right. Let me get back to some more questions. So Melody, real fast. So you can edit the post stream. So yes, when you're using StreamYard, you can edit those streams inside the video studio. So once you're done with the stream, it's going to go into the video studio, the video library, and then you can make some light edits inside of there for sure. You can also export that video and use whatever software you want to make additional edits as well. So again, light edits can happen right inside the studio software. So good question. Okay. I am scrolling through all kinds of deleted comments inside of the comment feed here to find more questions from you guys because I want to make sure that I get to them for sure. Ooh, behind Daybar 3.0, getting some extra kudo points on getting his question answered, commenting on my hair. I love it. Okay, let me go back to these questions because I got more coming. Magali, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, says, is it only possible to put background in the whole place behind you? Yes. So you cannot edit where the background is displayed. So the background is going to be the entire background. Now, right now, I am in what's called the cropped solo layout because I wanted to feature this new awesome video background capability, but I can also be full screen so that the background is only shown when I'm in a share screen layout, or if I were in a guest layout, if I had a guest on stream with me, then you would see the background, right? So, but I'm in the cropped solo layout today because I wanted you all to be able to see this fun video background feature that just got released. So, but essentially that background is going to fill the whole background. So you want to design accordingly when you're going to customize your backgrounds. Tyler's Variety says, how can someone who is using StreamYard do a call-in show? Okay, totally just get this out of the way. I've personally never done a call-in show, but I've seen lots of people do call-in shows with StreamYard. There's multiple ways to do it. Now, again, you can incorporate some third-party software to be doing things. You can incorporate some third-party hardware where you actually are taking the calls, routing them into your, like a Rodecaster Pro, for example, is how I've seen people do this. You route the call into the Rodecaster Pro, which then puts the audio into the stream, very much like what I just showed you with that Wavelink application. That is a virtual audio mixer. The Rodecaster Pro is a hardware, a physical audio mixer. So there are ways to do it. The other way is you can have a way to receive calls, whether it's on a Zoom, a Zoom call or something else, and you can route that audio through a virtual audio mixer, like I just showed you, into your stream. But it is absolutely complicated. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart, faint of streamer, as I sometimes say. It's not easy. So that would be one way to do it. The other way you could do it, honestly, Tyler, is just simply you have them join the stream And you can have, if they don't want to be on screen, then just either turn on audio avatars so that they show up on screen as a guest and they're pulsating. Or if you want to do it like it's that traditional style radio show, then just turn off audio avatars. You're on screen. You're like, okay, we got another question here from Tyler. So Tyler, you're live on air. What's your question? And he's literally in the stream with you, just not being displayed. It's just his audio. Now, the trick to this, again, there's always a trick to everything, isn't there? Especially when we start leveling up. The thing you need to make sure that you consider when you do a method like this is you want to have a way to vet your callers. I mean, y'all saw that we're getting spammed like crazy today. We're basically being spam attacked. So that's what that is. This can happen to you, especially for call-in shows. You don't know that person. You don't know anything about them if you don't gate them, if you don't create a way to gate them. And what I mean by gating them is, I know that, in fact, Charles Matthews, who, if you're still here live, used to do a live show where they had live people come on and ask questions in the stream, but they had a way to vet them out elsewhere first. And they vetted them out and then they gave them the invite code and said, okay, you're vetted, you're good. You can come onto the stream. Here's your link to join. And then they would join that way. Because you don't want to just publish the code out there for anyone to join your stream and ask you questions live, because you don't know what you're going to run into. You might run into some serious stuff, bad stuff. So always have a way to vet that stuff out. So it sounds cool in concept, but again, you got to kind of practice and make sure you know you've got some ways to protect yourself for sure. Okay, so Sports Junkie says, when I record a video and share screen, it buffers on playback. Why? So I think what Sports Junkie is referring to is our share video feature. So just like the share screen feature, if you're on the basic or pro plan, you can also share the video. Wait, maybe that's available on the free plan. I actually just opened this up the other day. Hold on, give me just a moment because I don't want to tell you guys the wrong thing. Let me look real quick at the recent pricing. Yeah, okay. I feel like you can share your screen, but you can't share video. It definitely does not say anywhere. So I'm thinking it must be free, baby. Don't quote me on that. I think it's part of the free plan. I could be totally wrong. It might be part of the basic plan. However, the share video feature, so when you go to share your screen, you have an option of sharing a video file that's uploaded to your computer. When you do that, you're going to actually select that video file and have it uploaded to the stream. Now, it's literally streaming that video file from your computer. Sports Junkie, personally, I have found a little more success and less issues if I upload the video into my brand section and do it that way. Okay. So now the only difference is you aren't able to use the pause feature and mute feature and things like that when you're doing it that way. But if it's buffering for you, it could be that the file size on your computer is very large because it's actually, again, it's streaming it. So it's having to stream this large file. And if the file is really large and you don't have crazy strong upload speed with your internet, then it may buffer. It's throttling. And again, I always say, think of your bandwidth for your internet and your computer as a tunnel. And if you don't have enough bandwidth, that tunnel gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and it can only fit so much through there. And so it's either going to slow it down or it's going to have to break it up. It's trying to squeeze everything through. So if you have a lot of bandwidth, you shouldn't have any issues, but you may have a bandwidth issue on that. So that could be the problem. Could be your internet. Could be that simple. So Bowling with the Fef says, when I put on background music, it kind of makes my audio, he's using an XLR mic through an audio interface, cut out here and there. Is this an issue for people or just me? Interesting. So Bowling with the Fef, if you've been around long enough, you've been here, you've definitely noticed that I've definitely had some audio issues with my own streams. Now, I will say, I recently, DIY, by the way, I feel very fancy. I recently upgraded the RAM in my computer, which was way easier than I thought. I thought you had to be super techie and fancy and like really smart to do that. I literally was able to do it all by myself. But I took the old RAM sticks out and I have 4 times the RAM I used to have. And I have not noticed any issues since. However, this could be due to lots of things. It could be the CPU usage on your computer. I did find that when I used to have my XLR microphone, which is now back there on that shelf, I've been thinking about getting it back out. I had a lot more issues when I was using an XLR microphone than I did when I use a USB. So I miss my XLR microphone. The quality is incredible, but I did find more issues with weird clipping and just stuff when I was using that. And it could be because you're using an audio interface. Remember, it's another piece of hardware. It's another piece of gear plugged into your computer that has to think about and know and understand, and it has to process that information. Also, XLR microphones tend to carry more data, right? And what I mean by carry more data is, think about that bandwidth. You're talking internet. Well, also the data that your computer has to kind of understand and process and transmit, it's the same thing. If you're not using a super big computer with lots of RAM and lots of speed and all the things, it may not be able to push that data. It's all data, video, audio, it's all data. So XLR microphones tend to actually send data that's different than just a simple USB microphone. So I know that's probably not what you want to hear because you love your XLR mic, but it could be that you might want to consider downgrading. So one of those things to consider. Okay, so let's keep going for a little bit longer here. We're at 1 hour, but I know we had some quirky issues with spammers, so I want to keep going. I've got time today to keep on hanging out. So let's see. So Charles says, Charles Matthews, by the way, is so great. Love Charles. Miss having you on the channel. What camera are you using? Changing my setup. So I am currently using the Sony ZV-E10. In fact, I have multiple of these cameras. In fact, I can show you what the camera looks like because this is my extra one right here. So this is actually my camera that I am starting to explore. This is kind of dedicated for non-streaming, which is why it has this microphone on the top. But it's just a really small, compact camera. It comes with this basic kit lens. But the biggest thing you need to know is, yes, I'm using the Sony ZV-E10, but I'm also using an upgraded lens. So that's why I have the wide angle with the shallow depth of field. So you have a very blurry background. I'm able to use the low light that brings in the colors very well because of this lens. So looks a lot different here than it does using just the basic kit lens. But it's one of those things that I always like to make sure everybody understands, because it's just important to know that it's also the lens. So it's the Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4 f-stop. So, okay. All right, here we go. So getting to the next question. I was reading a comment from Joanne. She's getting ready to board a flight, so she's getting out of here. But I think Mo's in the comments hanging out with us, helping us out too. So, all right. So, but something to say about the camera, everybody. So Charles was asking about the camera, kind of like I was talking about with the fancy audio stuff and all those cool bells and whistles. You don't need a $1,000 camera setup, which that is what this is. So what you're looking at is a $1,000 setup minimum. Actually, now that when you think about you need a camera card, you need a number of things to be able to actually use this camera for streaming. However, you don't need that to get going or to make amazing videos. There are people out there. There are content creators out there that have 1 million followers and they are using nothing fancy at all. So focus on your content. It's so critical that you focus on your content. Nikki made a comment earlier about she has 40 subscribers. How do I make my videos better? Well, keep making videos. Keep using features in StreamYard like banners and tickers and screen shares and all the other things. Heck, use that background music, right? That's already incorporated inside of the studio to enhance your videos. I just always want to make sure everyone knows you don't have to have a fancy setup to be fancy. You don't. Get started being scrappy. As I always say, get out there, create videos first. Make sure you have the money before you start making investments. But also remember, when you start adding more bells and whistles, you do add more complexity and more things can go wrong, which is why I want to encourage everybody, be streaming. Charles has been creating content for a while. He's been streaming for a while. He's somebody I would say, yeah, I approve. I approve of you changing your camera because I know he can handle it. But somebody who's just getting started, I'm going to say, get going with what you have, because you're going to run into quirky issues when you start adding other things, and you're going to need to be able to pivot and deal with them. And if you're just getting started, it's not that easy to do. So get going with what you have first and then upgrade later. All right, let me check on more questions here. I'm going to skip that question. I saw a question about gaming only because honestly, I can't answer that question, and it's way too complicated, and I'm running out of time. So also, real quick, let me say this. If you do have a question for me and I don't get to answer it today, or if I'm not able to answer your question, I have something I want you to do. I want you to go over to Facebook, and I want to make sure that you join our Facebook community. So all you got to do is Google search StreamYard community in Facebook, and it will show it to you. Join that Facebook group. Ask your questions there. If you don't get your question answered here live, or you don't like the answer I give you, or quite frankly, I can't answer your question, then go over there, post your question there, because there are so many amazing people in there, other creators like me, as well as other users that will absolutely be able to answer your question if I'm not able to get to it. So definitely make sure that you join the community if you're not already. Okay, let me get to some more questions. Okay, so Carlos Tacos says, question, I just started the basic plan and went live last night, and I didn't receive the comments in my studio. Is that not available in the basic plan? It is absolutely available in the basic plan. That is one of my favorite things about StreamYard, is the ability to see and display comments like I'm doing right here. And it's why I actually started using StreamYard in the first place years ago. It is absolutely a feature in the basic plan. However, I wonder if maybe, depending on how you set up your stream, or it could be that maybe you accidentally had commenting turned off. It could be that you didn't have any live comments while you were live, and that the comments that you're seeing are post comments, meaning after you were live. But if this is absolutely not the case, then I want you to reach out to our support team so that they can troubleshoot with you to make sure that maybe there's not some settings or something that you've gotten disabled on your actual social platform. It also depends on where you're streaming. So, I will tell you that often I find that comments coming from Facebook groups don't always come through, and it could be because of a privacy setting you have in your Facebook group. And then, of course, sometimes LinkedIn is a little bit weird as well. I think if you're streaming to Twitter, can we still stream to Twitter? I think we can. Those comments won't show up because the API doesn't bring those comments into the studio. But if you're streaming to YouTube, which I assume you are because that's where you're hanging out with us now, you should absolutely see those comments inside the studio and have the ability to display them even on the free plan. So good question, Carlos. If that problem still kind of gives you fits, then definitely reach out to our support team so they can help you out. King CMTV says, where to get some lights above your monitor like yours for a good price. So what he's referring to, these are, I promise this is not a commercial for Elgato, but it's starting to sound like one, isn't it? These are the Elgato Keylight Airs. They are small. They are smaller lights, and they do dim. You can absolutely dim them like I'm about to do. I'll dim it. So I can control that right here on my knob. You can control it right on the computer as well. Now I forget what I had it set at, but we'll see how that looks when I get back to the other view. They're not necessarily cheap, but they're cheap for this kind of light. You can spend $1,000 on lights if you really want to. But to be honest with you, I used to use a big ring light, and it cost $60. That was it. If you're going to use a ring light, get the big one, because it's not going to create such a specular look on your face. It's going to diffuse it better. It's going to spread that light a little bit better. I see people all the time, they buy these little ring lights, and you might as well just grab a lamp, to be honest with you. It's like a little spotlight on you, and it's going to just, whatever. I'm using 2 lights. So both of those lights, I think they retail for like $130 a piece, I believe. But you can go on Amazon. There's all kinds of lighting kits you can find on Amazon, including the ones that look like the umbrellas and they open up and then they fold down and all that. What I always tell people to consider when they're buying lights is, are you setting up a permanent setup? Meaning, is this going to stay stationary? For example, my streaming desk is here at all times, and it is always set up. The only thing that changes on it is the crap on top of it and whether it's up or down, because it's a standing desk. But these lights are always here. They don't move. If you're in a situation where you're going to do that, then I would recommend splurging a little bit, being ready and willing to buy some really good lights. If you're always going to be moving your lights all the time, then consider something like a ring light that's going to be very modular. It's going to fold up. It can go in the corner. And you can move it around all the time. A little bonus tip for you on a ring light is you want to buy one that is going to be adjustable in brightness as well as warmth and coolness. So if we want to get fancy, those are called kelvins. But you want to be able to warm that light up or make it a little cooler, because depending on your room and environment, you may need to adjust those settings. And then, of course, the other bonus tip I have for ring light users is if you're streaming and your desk is sort of close to a wall, put that ring light behind you. Don't be afraid to turn the brightness all the way up, turn the ring light around so that it actually reflects off of the wall. You will find that it will be much softer and more diffused on your face. Try it and thank me later. I promise you'll love it. So hopefully that was a good, helpful answer for you. Okay, this was a question I liked. I really wanted to get to this one. Church of One Body of Christ says, can we allow another person to use our account or share our account with another content creator? So here's the deal. You could share your account with someone, meaning let them log in on their own computer. You can both technically be logged in to the StreamYard browser at the same time and both be using the same account. But I have a much better solution for you, and that is to consider using StreamYard Teams. And what StreamYard Teams is it is actually an ability for you to create another user in your account. You can revoke that user's access. You can limit what they can do, as well as just have better controls. So if you have them set up as a teammate, which, by the way, StreamYard, crazy generous. Everybody gets they get StreamYard seats. So if you're on the free plan, you can add one more person to your account. If you're on the basic plan, you can add another user to your account. So they have another seat, a teammate. And then if you're on the pro plan, you can have 3 people. So if you can have multiple people in there. So for example, when Joanne joined the stream backstage earlier, I know y'all didn't get to see her. She was probably on her phone. I'm guessing because she was at the airport, and she just joined, but she's a teammate on the StreamYard team. So she's able to join backstage, and she was able to kind of help me out inside the studio backstage. Super helpful. So having a backstage producer or monitor or somebody who's just kind of helping you keep an eye on things, so incredibly helpful, right? So we have Mo, who's our content manager. He's actually in the comments, I think, as well, commenting on behalf of StreamYard. That's different than being backstage, right? So using these StreamYard team seats is the best way to share access to your account with somebody else, for sure. I see something about, so Ham Jazz says, do you recommend a particular lavalier mic on the iPhone for out in the field live streams? I have one around here somewhere. Honestly, I would so here's the deal. If you're looking for a great lavalier mic for the phone, I highly recommend considering the Rode Wireless 2 Go. They actually have, there's a new one that they just came out with as well. These are amazing microphones. They're not cheap though. They're not cheap, but they're fantastic. They're wireless. They're wonderful. Now, if you're just looking for a cheap plug-in to the phone lavalier microphone, there's a ton of them out there on the market. I would do your research. I would YouTube it. I would literally go on YouTube. I would just ask this very question on YouTube. You're going to get lots of videos. Listen to the examples. Listen to a creator who's recommending that microphone, but listen to one who's also going to tell you, here's the pros and cons of it, whatever. I always suggest this when somebody is buying gear, that there are probably some $20 versions out there that are going to do the job and be amazing. And then there's $300 versions out there too. So things like that, I always tell people, based on your budget, go out there, do some research, listen to real life examples on YouTube, and then you can make a purchase decision from there. I will say this as well, if you watch a content creator provide great information for you, super helpful, and you are like, that's the one I'm going to buy, if they have an affiliate link in their description, use it. It doesn't cost you anything extra. It helps them earn money in the creator economy. And they are sitting here taking their time to create this video for you. They helped you. You're not going to level up. So there's a weird thing out there. Some people are like, oh, I don't like to use affiliate links. It doesn't cost you anything. In fact, you're just helping that creator. So if they're using an Amazon link or something else, highly recommend that you use the affiliate link that they've provided, for sure. Okay, a couple more questions. Let's see, a couple more questions here. Behind Daybar 3.0 says, I had to get to his question because, hello, he's like giving me bonus points, or he's giving himself bonus points. Love the hair. Thank you. It's getting cut later today. It's kind of getting long. Will StreamYard ever be 4K capable? I sure hope so. That's my answer to that question. I sure hope so. But I don't know if it's on the current roadmap. In fact, it's been a while since I've spoken with Dan and Gage about the roadmap. So I don't know exactly what's on the roadmap. Sometimes I know a few things that are coming. I don't specifically know if that one's coming. I can only imagine that it is, especially with them continuing to enhance in the record only studio. So now I don't know if those of you that don't know, if you do a record only video using StreamYard, you can now pause your recording, which I love this feature. So you might, start a video recording and then you might need to just kind of take a pause so you can like look at your notes and then start recording again. You can absolutely pause those recordings now and restart them. So them continuing to pay attention to that recording studio, I would not be shocked if down the road that you're going to be able to output 4K videos. I also wouldn't be shocked if down the road, as our internet ecosystem becomes stronger and stronger, that they provide an option for 4K streaming. Now, I can't speak to it again, but I know that one of the things that's really important to StreamYard, and I totally support this, especially Dan, he's very passionate about this, ease of use, but stability is another one of the core pillars at StreamYard. And anytime you start adding in more, like 4K, you are going to introduce risk. So if you're streaming in 4K, it's requiring more signal strength, it's requiring more bandwidth, all the things. And if you don't have the proper setup, your stream quality is probably going to have some issues. And so I'm sure that that's a big piece of their decision criteria when it comes to moving forward with something like 4K. But is it on the roadmap? I sure hope so. That's how I'm going to answer that question. So I love that you asked it though. Okay, so we are just at about time. So I'm going to get to 2 more questions because I saw this really great question from Calvin that I also wanted to answer. How can you use multiple cameras in your live stream? Is that part of the paid tier? So real quick, I'm using multiple cameras as I showed you. I'm actually using, this is an ATEM Mini, which is how I am using my fancy cameras to stream. So they are going into the ATEM Mini. This is also a switcher. So I can switch from one camera to the other. I can control the speed at which it transitions and all those things too. But you can absolutely use 2 cameras just using StreamYard. So you do have to be on the professional plan. So to answer your question, Calvin, you can have 2 webcams plugged into your computer at the same time. And you can absolutely add that additional camera. Now, the way to do it is you're actually going to go down to share screen. Actually, let me do a super quick look. I believe I actually have a tutorial video that I can add really fast and literally show you how to do this. I know I have one. I'm going to spend 7 seconds looking for it, and that's it. There it is. Found it. Okay, hold on. Let me upload it. Let me get this uploaded real quick. I'll show you. I'll literally show you how to do this because it's really, 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 really awesome. I'm not going to lie. It's so awesome. Okay, so I'm adding that clip in 1 minute. Okay. This is an old tutorial. So I don't remember if it has audio or not, but once that's done uploading, I'll show you. So this is part of the professional plan. But if you're a person who is doing any kind, like I'm showing you, like that's a really cool feature, right? That I can sit there and say, show you my setup. I can change this camera so that it's like a bird's eye view. So if you're doing demonstrations or crafting or any of those types of things, having that bird's eye view camera is such a great way to enhance your streams. What's really fantastic about the extra camera feature in StreamYard that is different than what I'm doing is you can have both of those video feeds displayed at the same time. That is a game changer. So, for example, you could have the bird's eye view showing what you're assembling or doing, but you're still on camera looking at your audience. So they're not just looking at your hands, they can still see your face, right? They can see what you're doing, but they can see your face. So watch this quick clip real quick. It's a couple minutes long, but it's worth the watch because those of you that had no idea that this was available to you, I definitely want you to find inspiration from it. So let's watch. All right, now I'm going to show you how to add an extra camera in your StreamYard studio. Now, again, you do have to be on a professional plan in order to have this feature, but when you're inside of your studio, as long as you have a second camera connected to your computer, all you're going to do is you're going to go down to where it says share. And again, if you're on the pro plan, you will now see extra camera as a setting. So if we select this, it's going to give us an option to select our webcam. I happen to have multiple webcams hooked up. We're going to go ahead and pick this fun little camera, the Osbot Tiny 4K. And you are going to have an option to select your resolution, and we're going to keep it at 1080. And now you see that it's in the bottom of our studio. Much like when you have a guest in your studio, all the functionality is essentially the same. One major difference though is that you're going to notice the extra camera has no audio. There is simply no audio for this camera at all, and that is by design for convenience because you don't want to have an echo or run into any issues. So to bring up this extra camera on screen, you can actually just go ahead and add it to the stream just like you do a guest, and now you're going to have both cameras on screen. And now, just like with your guest, you're going to have the same layout options. You can go to this full wider angle layout for both of these scenes. And then you can also toggle between solo layout between each camera. So if I just want to be just me, this main camera back on screen, all I have to do is select solo layout. If I want to go straight from this camera angle to the other camera, then I'm just going to simply click on the solo layout for that extra camera. Just like that. Now, the reason why I like this and the reason why I want you to just click on solo versus removing and then adding is that you always want to make sure that main camera is still in the stream, just not visible, because that's where your audio is coming from. So if I were to remove myself from the stream down here, then I'm actually going to remove my audio as well. So having the solo layouts and toggling back and forth is the way to go here. Now, there might be times when you want to go with a large angle, a large view of one camera, and then a small view of the other camera. And just like when you have a guest, all you're going to do is drag and switch these if you do want to switch. So if you wanted your main camera to be the other angle, like this one, then you just simply drag and drop and switch it over. So you have those same options when it comes to your layouts. And then if you share your screen, same thing's going to happen there. So it's very similar to having a guest in your stream as far as the functionality and the way that you have these layout options. So definitely practice it, see how it works, and see if you like it. And there you have it, right? Like that was the old studio. You guys miss the old studio? I kind of miss the old studio. I'm still trying to get this one figured out. But anyway, so yeah, love the bonus feature of that extra camera. Now that we have this custom layout, now that's an older tutorial. I should probably record a new tutorial, quite frankly, on this because with the new custom layouts option that you have, you can totally change the way it's going to look. Right? So what I was showing you was just the old basic layouts that StreamYard offer. But now that you can customize your layouts, you can you can really do some cool stuff with this extra camera feature. So again, keep in mind that extra camera is not going to bring in audio. Again, it's by design, thank God, so that you're going to want to do that. So again, that is a pro plan feature. So if you're using the free plan or the basic plan right now, and you want to be able to create content like that, all you need is 2 webcams and you need the pro plan. Now, as far as 2 webcams go, because some of you I know are asking the question or thinking about it, you're like, oh my God, I got to buy another camera. Did you know that this can also be a webcam? You already have this. It's sitting there on your desk, or you're using it right now to watch me live. You have an extra camera right here, most likely. And we have videos on our YouTube channel that you're going to want to check out on how to use that as a webcam. It's very easy. It just requires another application to kind of sync it up together, and you can use it as an extra webcam. So while you're sitting here thinking you got to buy something else, maybe you don't. You maybe have exactly what you need right here. So, dropping stuff everywhere. So, okay, with that being the last thing, I think that was a great question to end on. I know that many of you had other questions. I saw lots of questions coming in about gear and some other things as well. But I will tell you, as I said, go join our Facebook community. That is a great place for you to ask those questions. I think that Mo posted a link to the community in the comments. So if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, you should actually have a link right there in the comments below as well. So I want to welcome you into that community. I'm in there. Lots of other people are in there. So these questions that you have that I didn't get to today or that I couldn't answer, post them in there. Just put a picture or something cool and post your question. The admins will review your question. And once they have a chance to review it and approve of it, that post will go up and hopefully you get some awesome answers in there. Don't be afraid to at me if you've got a question for me specifically. Happy to jump in and help you out wherever I can. So, okay, my friends, we are going to finish this one up. Super excited to have you all with me today. Thank you for bearing with us while we dealt with those crazy spammers. That was not fun. And I want to say thanks to my team at StreamYard for backing me up and helping me out there. So until next time, my friends, which is going to come up here in a couple weeks, I'll be live with you again. Again, if you're not already subscribed to us on YouTube, go check it out because there's all kinds of great videos that are getting put up all the time to help you level up your live videos and your live streaming goals for sure. So, and of course, I'll be live here once again in a couple weeks. And as I said, join that Facebook community if you're not already over there. So, all right, everybody, go have an awesome day. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.